So it's Mike Jordan on pole position. He won a race last year at Mondello Park. Can he do it again here? Adam Jones is alongside him, and these two have had some great battles already. On the second row of the grid, reigning champion Matt Neal and his great rival Jason Plato alongside. Plato with that 5-point championship advantage. On the third row, Gordon Shedden, the local hero, and he's been going well here today, but Fabrizio Giovanardi's next up, and he's determined to try and close that gap on Plato even more. Behind them on row 4, we've got Colin Turkington with Darren Turner. Now, Darren Turner's already won 2 races here today. What can he do from row 4? Gavin Smith and Matt Jackson are together on the 5th row of the grid. Matt Jackson's not had a great day so far. Perhaps he can get a quick start. Tom Chilton and John George are together on row number 6 of the grid. Again, Chilton's had a tough day. Tom Onslow Cole is on row 7 alongside Jason Hughes. The BMW of Tom Onslow Cole could move forward. We've got Fiona Leggett and Alan Taylor on the 8th row of the grid. And on his own at the back, it's Martin Bell.
Well, we are down on the grid now with the pole sitter, Mike Jordan. Mike, it's the first time you've been on pole this season, isn't it? You any nerves?
I'd love to say you sit here with no nerves, but I'd love to be as relaxed as I would be having a Costas with my wife right now. But no, you're bound to feel a little bit nervous. But sun's out. We've had a good day up until now, so we got 8th in the last race, got the reverse grid. So see what we can do. Car was a little bit nervous on its cold tyres at the start of the second race, so we lost a little bit of ground early on. So we've made a change to it. So fingers crossed it'll be good.
Are you worried about the start?
No, my starts last year were appalling. This year they've been really good, so I actually enjoy making the starts now. Once we're past the first couple of laps, I'll be really happy.
Well, we hope you have a good race. Now let's go a bit further down and have a word with Matt Neal. Matt is, of course, the reigning British touring car champion, but I think it's fairly safe to say that he's not going to be able to retain that title. Had an awful time last time out at Brands Hatch. Huge accident in the first race, didn't take any further part, and then he had another shunt in the first race here today. Matt, luck is just not with you this season, is it?
I'm praying to the wrong God, I reckon. No, but we had a good second race, so it was a positive for both me and Flash, and it's given us a good platform to start race 3.
I have to say, last year your car was pretty much indestructible, but this year, whenever you've been involved in incidents, it's not gone well for you, has it?
Well, that's the luck, isn't it? That's the luck element, and that's what people have been saying. Who do you think between Jason and Fabrizio? And I believe whoever gets the most luck, you know.
Do you have any preferences as to who that is?
No, I mean, me and Flash are going to fight hard and fast and try and win some races, and we know they know that in the back of their minds. So, you know, I've got my own preferences who I'd like to win.
Well, we hope it goes well for you. We will be finding out very shortly. We'll be back for the race after this break. Welcome back. It's time for our final touring car race of the day here at Knockhill. Let's go straight over to our commentary team of Tim Harvey and Ben Edwards.
The cars are making their way round on the second of their 2 warming up laps here at Knockhill. Glorious weather, beautiful day it's turned into, and we're looking forward to a tremendous final race of the day. The championship battle continues between Jason Plato and Fabrizio Giovanardi, but it's the joint leading independent Mike Jordan who starts from pole. Let's see if we can get a quick word with him. It's Ben in the commentary box too, Mike. Hope it's all feeling good. Are you in good shape there, Mike?
Yeah, we've had some new brake pads in for this race, so just been working those really hard, trying to get those bedded in well. As I said, we've made a front roll bar adjustment, which hopefully just gives a bit more stability off the start line. So see if we can have a first good couple of laps and keep an eye on our mirrors for Gordon coming flying through, because he's fast.
Okay, well, have a good one. And Mike, as ever, so cool and calm and collected. These guys, you wouldn't think that they're about to go off into some of the most furious, frantic racing there is anywhere in the world. The British Touring Car Championship, where on one of the circuits as well, where it's a real Braveheart kind of place, this here in Scotland. You've got to attack, you've got to go for it. And yet Mike sounds like he's out to go for a Sunday afternoon drive. Let's see what happens then. He's on the pole position with Adam Jones lining up in second place, but they've got Matt Neal and Jason Plato right behind them. Look at that, the orange car and the yellow and silver car of reigning champion and would-be champion on the second row of the grid. All set to go here. Red lights are on. Away we go at Knockhill, and Jordan gets off the line very well. Jones a bit slower, and Matt Neal's going to have a great chance of taking second as they head down towards the Sayat curves for the first time here. Matt Neal slots into second place. Jones now trying to defend from Jason Plato. Squeezes in front of Plato, and Plato has to settle for 4th position, but he's still ahead of big rival Giovanardi. In fact, he's got a car between himself and Giovanardi.
Yeah, so far so good. Everybody's safely through the first couple of corners. Good start by Mike Jordan. got that car off the line. It was Adam Jones that got jumped by Matt Neal. Matt Neal really looking to salvage something from this weekend. He'll be pushing very hard.
Well, he's in second place and on the attack already is Matt Neal, and Plato under attack from Matt Neal's teammate Gordon Shedden in the background. So where to watch? We'll look up front first. Jordan taking the defensive line down towards the Real Radio hairpin, and Matt Neal can't quite make it, but Shedden going around the outside of Plato behind, and I think he may have taken that place, and that means that Plato and Giovanardi will be together once again, as we've seen several times today. They'll go wheel to wheel, door handle to door handle, and it's Giovanardi trying to draw alongside Plato. No, can't do it. Down into the first corner.
Yeah, well, we have seen Giovanardi pull that move off, but he'll have to wait for a slight mistake from Plato at the hairpin. Plato got passed by Shedden, a good move by Shedden on the outside. He was confident that Plato wouldn't risk contact, and he got right in. Matt Neal right behind Jordan through that chicane. Has he got a chance?
He might have, and Adam Jones is going to go to the outside. Jordan has to go very defensive, and Shedden's got the chance to take third. He'll give Jones a squeeze. Oh, Shedden took advantage of that beautifully.
Good driving, and you can see just pushed him wide, but eased out of the way on the exit of Carloop corner, and that puts the two Halfords cars together. 3 wide into the corner. Giovanardi on the outside, Adam Jones inside. Giovanardi thinks better of it. He may have enough power to get up the inside.
Oh, Giovanardi's on the grass trying to get back on, and it's squeeze, 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 and he's back on the tarmac, and he won't like that. He was being pushed out of the way, but free abreast up there. There's just not enough space. On board with Giovanardi trying to go around the outside maybe of Jones. That wasn't going to happen either. Back down the hill once again, and now there's still a car between himself and Plato.
Well, that was hard but fair. Probably the 3 of them coming out of the hairpin together. Jones just easing him towards the inside. Wow, look at that. What a great on-board through that chicane. That's so difficult, that corner.
Yeah, and the cars are moving around so much. Now climbing uphill slightly through this one. Jordan still leads. Matt Neal in second, and the 2 Team Halfords cars are looking very, very dangerous here. They had a 1-2-3 Team Halfords in the last race here 12 months ago, and they've got 2 cars in the top 3 places right now. But still Jordan leads, Plato there, then Jones, and then Fabrizio Giovanardi looking for the good exit. Behind him, it's Colin Turkington, followed by Matt Jackson, who had a good first couple of laps, with Darren Turner, our earlier race winner, down in 9th place, and Gavin Smith holding on to 10th place. Giovanardi just taking a tighter line up towards that first corner, but not alongside Jones.
No, he was hoping he could just power past him, but that Seat Toledo might be an old car, but it still has a strong engine in, and without any ballast, Adam Jones is able to hold his own up the straight, and that'll be frustrating for Giovanardi to see that.
Yeah, here we go then, back up to the leaders, and it's still Jordan, but here comes Matt Neal, great move. Oh, he's so late on the brakes, seen him do that before here at Knockhill. He loves the tight line, and if you leave the door open, that's what will happen. And Matt Neal's taken the lead. He's only had 1 win so far this year, has Matt Neal. Can he finally get it together after that huge accident at Brands Hatch in the last race? He's got a bit deep in, but he's all right through the hairpin, and still Giovanardi is stuck in position.
Yeah, Matt Neal could not have been any more defensive. He was right on the inside, right line, and there was no way anyone was coming through. Now he'll try and put in a good little blast and get a little bit of a gap, but good overtake by Matt Neal. He's liking his new car now. He's got it set up to his liking, and he's flying in it.
Plato ahead of Giovanardi in this, of course, and that means that the gap would be back up to 8 points between the 2 big championship rivals. Just take another look at this, Tim.
All down to the exits through that chicane. Matt Neal shut his eyes, put his foot down, carried more speed through the chicane, and got up the inside of Mike Jordan, who didn't fight it. And in fact, Shedden could have taken more advantage there if he'd been closer behind Matt Neal.
So I wonder if Jordan's going to be able to hold. Bit of smoke from Jones's car. Adam Jones, look at that. What's that, right rear, Tim?
And it could be some bodywork just rubbing on the wheel, on the tyre. It could not be a problem at all. Yeah, look at that bang. That was a hit from Giovanardi. Now he's definitely past him.
Well, maybe that's a little bit of special technique from the Italian there. There's definitely some smoke coming off that tyre now, even if there wasn't before. As we come across the line, 5 laps completed. Fastest lap by the new leader, Matt Neal. Giovanardi's got past. Oh, what a big slide that was. Down through the Seat curve. And then right behind them, we've got Colin Turkington joining in the battle as well. Giovanardi, though, has got himself up behind Jason Plato, his big championship rival, but there are a few car lengths between them.
Yeah, but Jones, we've seen Jones fight back in the past. When he gets past, he fights straight back, and look at him. He's like a terrier up behind Giovanardi, and he won't forget that little tap that Giovanardi gave him. And if they get caught up back behind Plato, he might take the chance to give him one back. But Giovanardi was getting increasingly frustrated behind Jones, but it may come back to bite him. The gap now, the championship gap, down to 7 points.
Yeah, 7 points, the gap between them as they stand at the moment. But let's wait and see what happens. Mike Jordan under attack for his second place, not only from Gordon Shedden, but Jason Plato's right there as well. It's tight coming into the Sayat curves, and look how close it is. And Shedden might go for the inside. He does like this manoeuvre. He's done it. He's gone down the inside. Now Jordan might lose 2 in 1 here. Plato's going to follow Shedden through. Oh, that was good stuff by Plato. Clever positioning. Mike Jordan loses 2 positions.
Yeah, once you get put on the outside here, there's no way back into line. It's a bit like NASCAR racing, isn't it? You just can't get back in. And having a spotter here, like NASCAR racing, might be a good idea, actually.
Now we've got Jordan ahead of Giovanardi. Remember, they tangled last time out at Brands Hatch, didn't they? And Giovanardi will be just as anxious to get past Jordan again here, because he doesn't want a car between himself and Plato, but he will be a bit aware of the fact that he did punch him out last time, so try and behave.
Yeah, but this could be the opportunity that Adam Jones needs, because if Jordan holds up Giovanardi, Adam Jones is going to have a go at him.
Absolutely right, there's a lot to play for here. 7 laps completed, we're on to lap 8 out of 24. Lots of time still for this one to play out. It's Matt Neal leading by 1.5 seconds from his teammate Gordon Shedden. Team Alfords have a 1-2 going here, and Jason Plato is back in 3rd place. There's Plato, there's Jordan, then Giovanardi, Jones, Turkington, then Turner. That's how close they all are. Behind Turner it's Matt Jackson, then the green Sayat of Gavin Smith, followed by Tom Chilton, Tom Onslow Cole, then John George, Jason Hughes, Martin Bell, Fiona Leggett and Alan Taylor. Let's take a look at that move of Shedden's.
Well, Shedden's passed here before, he lined it up, he carried more speed. That technique I was talking about, carrying more speed through that first section, down the hill, and he opened the door and got through.
Well, it's pretty nervous faces down there in the pits at the moment. Everybody getting a bit anxious.
Well, that's Sophie Plato, Jason's wife, no doubt watching the moment just after that clip where Jason followed through Shedden and just managed to get through before the chicane.
Yeah, he squeezed past. There wasn't a lot of gap there. Oh, who's that? That's Jones running very, very wide indeed. He's lost 1, he's lost surely 2, at least 2 places there, and that's dropped him into the clutches of Matt Jackson as well. What a shame, because Jones has been racing so well today. He's
been going brilliantly. He had a 7th in the last race and a 5th in the first race, and just made that slight mistake. It's very dirty on the outside of that corner. That's that Scotsman corner. It's very dirty. If you don't get the car turned in because you've carried too much speed, you really do get hung out on the dirty part of the track.
Into the hairpin once again. You're riding with Giovanardi. Look how they tuck it over the curve on the inside, and now hard on the power up the hill, up through the gears. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, up into 6th gear as they come over the line and head down towards the Sayat curves. And Jordan still holding on to what is 4th place. Giovanardi in 5th, then Turkington in 6th, and Turner, our double race winner here today, can't make the progress. That's how tough a track it is on which to pass. Darren Turner, who's been the star of the show so far today, can't move up the order. He's in 7th.
Well, Team Halfords had that famous 1-2-3 here in the last race last year. Only got 2 cars out this year, so the best they can hope for is a 1-2. But look at this, they are running 1-2, but it's Shedden, the 2nd place car, that's running quicker than Matt Neal. He was 0.4 of a second quicker on the last lap, and he's closed that gap very quickly.
This is interesting, isn't it? Matt Neal only had the 1 win so far this season. That was a surprise victory at Brands Hatch. Shedden has had several wins this year, but he wants to win most of all on home turf. He wants to win at his home track, Knockhill. Matt Neal, on the other hand, won't want to give it to him that easily. This is going to be interesting.
It could be interesting. I mean, Shedden's going to go for it. He won't want to incur the wrath of his team or Matt Neal's father, but he still wants to win, and he clearly has the faster car. I think Matt Neal was quick in the first few laps, but if that understeer that's been bothering him earlier in the race the weekend has come back, he'll be working his front tyres too hard.
Yeah, and we've still got half the race to go. We're only just at half distance. We're not even quite at half distance yet. So Shedden looks in great shape here at the moment. Plato then in 3rd, then Jordan and Giovanardi. There's a little bit of breathing space just developed between some of those cars now. Maybe they're going to take a quick pause and then save it all up for the latter part of the race. Top 2 round the hairpin safely enough. Remember, Shedden broke his steering earlier on today in a move that looks partly accidental coming into the hairpin, and sadly that put him out of the race. You won't want to repeat that, especially on his own teammate. They come over the line, and John George has taken a quick trip in the gravel, but he's back on again.
Yeah, it looks like he outbraked himself probably into the hairpin and just ran wide on the exit, but he's kept going. we're not going to see Giovanardi through that corner down there. That's the Scotsman corner where the tyres have been knocked out of the way on the inside. And of course, Giovanardi, ever the opportunities, and ever one to try and short circuit the course, has already put 4 wheels across the inside there.
It doesn't take him long, does it? He'll take whatever he can find in terms of a bit of a track advantage. Still, though, he's behind Jordan. Then the gap back to Turkington in the first of the Team RAC BMWs. Then the other Seat tucked in behind him, that of Darren Turner. Down to the hairpin, all the crowd down there enjoying this tight battle, very evenly matched cars once again. Now there's Gavin Smith, he's got Tom Chilton right behind him. That's the battle for 10th position. Tom Chilton's not had a great day. It all started badly for him in qualifying when he tangled with a slower car through the first corner. Still managed a reasonable qualifying position, but then he made a mistake in the first race, hit the tyres that are on the inside of one of the corners, damaged the car, that put him out, and then of course he's been trying to recover ground ever since, and it just is not easy here at Knockhill. You need a smooth run through all the races, really.
Yeah, it's interesting watching the lap times. They're all fluctuating by the odd 10th or 2, but very, very close. And it's just, they're only fluctuating as somebody gets and makes a small mistake going over the curb, mistimes the steering input or something, but really very close. And Plato's holding a very comfortable third. He'll be quite happy with this. And Jordan found enough pace to sort of get away a little bit from Giovanardi, but a little bit long way to go.
Yeah, actually, Plato's closed up, I reckon, hasn't he, on that last lap, just a little bit. And meanwhile, Chilton in the Vauxhall trying to go around the outside of the Seat. Doesn't work, but Tom Onslow-Cole's joined in as well, and it was Chilton and Onslow-Cole who had that bit of a coming together that ended in Chilton hitting the tyres. Still Matt Neal leads. Plato, well, he did seem to close up a bit more and then just lose it a bit as they came up over the rise. Jordan still holding on to 4th. Giovanardi in 5th place. Chilton a bit of a slide as he comes down the Seat curves, and Smith holds it in tight. Good to see the Dubliner back in touring cars. He did the last meeting at Brands Hatch and doesn't seem to have lost any of his speed and pace. He's got that car going very quickly straight away, qualified well on Saturday afternoon, and is looking very composed in the races, which is good to see.
Yeah, Gavin Smith actually had a 2nd place here last year in the 2nd race, so he had a pretty good run here last year. He had a 2nd place in the 2nd race and a 5th in the 3rd, so he likes this track as well, and it is good to see him up the sharp end again. Yes,
perhaps it reminds him of Mondella, where of course he's spent a lot of time racing. Another track we need lots of commitment and bravery as well. And there we are looking at the race for 4th place. Mike Jordan, who is the leading independent in this race, and that's something to just focus on a little bit, because he and Turkington are tied on the points in the independents category. Mike Jordan currently the leading independent in this race, but Turkington is 2nd. So it would give Jordan a very, very narrow advantage going into the final 3 races at Thruxton in 6 weeks. But well, he'll have to try and keep that position. And he's got Giovanardi breathing down his neck, who's a buffer zone, but not a very comfortable buffer zone.
No, Giovanardi just found a little bit of pace. He said his personal fastest lap on the last lap, and it's just brought him to within sniffing distance of Jordan, who's now got to defend.
Sounded a bit strange on the down change there, maybe just locked up a fraction on the down change. But look at Plato, yes, again he's closer to those top 2, and you know, I think Shedden's capable of going a bit faster here, and what may happen if Matt Neal continues to sort of fight on his teammate, it may allow Plato to join in. I wonder if in some ways it might not be better off letting Shedden go ahead so that he can pull away, and then Matt can try and defend 2nd from Plato. Just really depends on Plato's pace. Look at Shedden, he's so quick through the chicane. He's got a real chance here. I think he's going to go for it. I don't think Matt's going to fight it too hard. No, good stuff. Shedden earned that position, and now Matt Neal's going to try and defend 2nd place.
Yeah, well, I don't think Plato will take too many chances with Matt Neal at the moment, knowing that he's got a car between him and Giovanardi. But great pass there by Shedden, carried the momentum through the chicane as we've seen, screwed himself up. A great pass.
So Shedden, could he win on home turf? What a wonderful opportunity this is for him, and he's got the lead now as he comes over the line. 16 laps completed. We go on to lap 17 of 24. It's a 1-2, but it's the other way around for Shedden and Neal. Jason Plato now tucked in behind the reigning champion and his great rival. No love lost between these two. The orange car, number 1 of Matt Neal, and the yellow and silver of Jason Plato. Up the hill they go. That's where Shedden is so quick. Again, he probably opens up another car length's advantage through there. But these two are fighting now for 2nd place. And how risky will Plato be with his move?
It's difficult, isn't it, because Neal is going to end up backing Plato into Jordan and Giovanardi, so it could all kick off. But Plato, he might be forced because of the pressure from Jordan and Giovanardi to have a go at Neil. We'll have to see.
Look how close Jordan is. Oh, he's allowed a gap for Giovanardi, and there's a rubbing, and there's a bit of oh, he cuts him off. He says, oi, I'm not having that. And Jordan will give as good as he gets, and he just shut the door in time. I wondered if that was going to end in tears for a moment, but they're still racing hard. I don't think Jordan's going to make life easy for Giovanardi after what happened last time at Brands.
No, and Giovanardi gave him that tap again there, trying to push him wide and get the run at him up the inside. And Mike Jordan said, you're not having it, and moved over on him. Quite right too.
Absolutely, and Giovanardi's going to have to think of something else and work a bit harder if he's going to get past the independent Mike Jordan. But look at Plato again. He was very close to the back of Matt Neal as they turned into Carlude corner, and still very tight between them. Then Turkington, Turner, Jones and Jackson. Well, there's still a race to go here. Gordon Shedden might be easing away, but there's a lot going on behind him. Plato trying to be sensible. He's got to finish the race. If either of these guys has a non-finish at this stage, then they could be in trouble. And Giovanardi seemed to have a little bit of a mishap just on the exit of the corner.
Well, he took too much curve on the inside and just ran himself wide. He actually he didn't really get a very good line coming out of there. This is where Giovanardi, he taps Mike Jordan, tries to push him wide, but Mike keeps his foot planted and moves straight across in front of him.
Yeah, and thankfully he was able to do that. He was clear. And then this was yeah, that was the same thing from a slightly different angle. There was the contact. Not too bad, but Jordan was able to defend. So here we are, back with the battle for second place. Matt Neal and then Jason Plato. Jordan not quite so close this lap, but Turkington has caught up a bit more to the back of Giovanardi, just behind them.
Yeah, Shedden has gone. He's a second and a half up the road, so lovely position for Shedden. Hopefully he can win this third race in front of his home crowd. Neal and Plato stuck together. Plato's, I think, has got very little chance of getting past up the straight here because he's got weight on board. We know the Seat isn't particularly quick up the straight, so he's got no chance of getting past there. He's better off just sitting behind Matt and hoping that Jordan will stay in front of Giovanardi.
That's right, he's in front at the moment, and he would go to Thruxton as the championship leader with Plato if it stays the way they are right now, and that's really what Plato's target has to be, whereas a non-finish when suddenly Giovanardi would take over the lead in the championship, most likely. So we'll have to wait and see. Still a few laps to go. Matt Neal holds on to second. Shedden is disappearing up the road. 2.1 seconds his advantage over his teammate Matt Neal. And while the Scots fans are going to love this, to see Shedden doing so brilliantly on home turf. And a lot of sponsors here, of course, this weekend as well for that team. And they must be loving this. But what they'd love to see even more is a 1-2. Oh, look at Giovanardi again. Almost pushing Jordan around the hairpin.
Yeah, Giovanardi actually is making a little mistake there. He's going so tight, he's crawling all over that big inside curve, and that's losing him drive and momentum over the corner. He's actually trying to get up the inside too early. He needs to cut back a bit later and carry a bit more speed through the corner.
Well, let's see whether he can do anything here. Turkington's right with him now as well, so he's got to watch his mirrors because given half a chance, and that BMW will be down alongside. Alan Taylor on his debut weekend out of this race, I'm afraid. We've lost John George from the race. He came into the pits a little while ago, a couple of cars out, but actually it's been pretty clean so far in this third race of the day. Darren Turner with the silver strip across the windscreen of his Seat. A little further back, he's still running in 7th position. And once more, and Chilton has taken his front bumper off.
Well, yeah, he's run over his own bumper and he's got gravel, so he's been off somewhere, been through the gravel trap somewhere, and it's folded the bumper underneath the car. We'll have to wait and see. It's been another nightmare weekend for Tom Chilton.
Yeah, he really has had a horrible time. It didn't go well for him at Knockhill last year either. And obviously he's been off somewhere. Whether he was helped or not, well, we may get a chance to see later on. So, lead us through Scotsman Corner. That's where Alan Taylor's car, that's up at the John R. Weir chicane. Well off the road, shouldn't be a problem. They're well offline there. And Matt Neal comes through. Second place for him. Plato still in third and not as close this time as he has been on some occasions. Jordan, Giovanardi and Turkington follow him through. Look how much road they use. They run the edge of the gravel there.
Yeah, I saw some debris on the in the gravel track on the exit of the chicane, so I think that's probably where Tom Chilton went off.
Yes, that is quite likely, I should think. It's an easy one. We've seen lots of other people do it. Shedden still leading. He comes across the line this time. That's 21 laps completed. We're on to, 22 completed. We're on to 23 now out of 24. And so 2 laps to go now for Gordon Shedden. just 2.4 miles. Oh, Jordan makes a mistake on the brakes mid-corner there.
Yeah, and he goes defensive. He has to defend. He slid wide and had to go to the inside, otherwise Giovanardi was dead. But now they're back into the sort of single file route down through over the chicane. He can pull away again. But I'm curious to know why Gordon Shedden has lost over a 2-second lead, and suddenly Matt Neal is behind him again.
Yeah, that's a bit odd, isn't it? I was looking at that and thinking, I thought Matt Neal was a lot closer than he had been. There is Shedden. He's got some lights on though. Maybe he's just trying to make a bit of a team formation. I don't know, it's always a bit of a risk. You don't want to lose your lead, but Shedden is still leading as they come around this time. They'll be going on to the final lap then. For Plato, it looks as though he's going to go to Thruxton as the championship leader. He should have a 7-point advantage, I think, if it stays the way it is at the moment. Down the hill they come, and Gordon Shedden still seems to be okay. He doesn't seem to have lost any more time.
No, there's no reason why he should let Matt Neal through at all. So, I mean, he should hold position. There won't be any team orders for sure, but he may have made a mistake somewhere, run wide, got some dirt on his tyres, and we missed it. But he certainly seems able to hold off Matt Neal now.
So Shedden just has a couple of corners to go now in order to hold on to victory. His first win at Knockhill in the main class of touring cars. He's won here in a class before the production class, but to win outright around the British Touring Car Championship at his home circuit, the track where he works every day of the week as business development manager, Gordon Shedden takes a home win at Knockhill. For Team Halfords, it's a 1-2, and Jason Plato finishes third. Well, what a great result that is for the Scots. Jordan finishes in 4th place and wins the independent class. Giovanardi finishes in 5th, Turkington 6th. Then it's Darren Turner in 7th ahead of Adam Jones, Matt Jackson and Tom Onslow Cole.
Yeah, Gordon shaking his fist there with real pure delight. He's really come of age this year. He's been a fantastic racer. He's got all the attributes of a great touring car racer. He's able to qualify well, he's able to race hard but fair, look after the car, and really he's the all-round article now.
He really is fantastic. Gordon Shedden wins race 3 of the day. It's a 1-2 for Team Halfords, with Matt Neal taking 2nd place. Plato 3rd place ahead of his big rival Giovanardi, with Mike Jordan between them. Then Turkington in 6th place, Turner in 7th ahead of Jones, Jackson and Onslow Cole.
Welcome back to Knockhill. Yes, the Rugby World Cup, which begins this Friday, live on exclusive on ITV Sport. Okay, well, it's been a fairy tale home win for Gordon Shedden. He's absolutely delighted, I can tell you, in Parc Fermé. This was the moment. Did he overtake clearly and cleanly, or did Matt Neal let him through? We will hear from Louise in a moment, but Gordon absolutely delighted, and we have the classification of, look at him, getting out, and it just hits him, the emotion hits him, and he has been congratulating everybody, it seems, in this part of Scotland. And that is the classification. Gordon Shedden wins from Matt Neal, a 1-2 for Team Halfords in the Honda Civic Type R, with Jason Plato doing his championship hopes no end of good with that crucial 3rd place. Okay, Louise has both Honda Civic drivers with her down in the pits.
Yeah, 1st and 2nd, it doesn't get much better than that, Gordon. You enjoyed that victory, didn't you?
It's just such a relief, you know, with this Team Halfords on the Civic's been fantastic all day, but just not any luck. And you know, there's so many guests here from Clydesdale Bank, a race day sponsor, and you know, to get a Team Halfords 1-2 is just out of this world. I'm absolutely over the moon to win. Above all the races, just tell us what it means to win at your home circuit. I tell you, I've never seen so many people clapping and smiley faces and flags waving on that warm down lap. It's just different class. What a Scottish crowd. You've really, I mean, of all the people, you've really shown your class driving around this track. You do have a bit of an advantage, though. You work here, don't you? Do you come out in your lunch break and practice? I wish. I've got a nice, safe job in the office. I don't want to sit next to anybody who's trying to kill me during the week. But no, you know, such support from everybody here at Knockhill. You know, we even arranged the weather for touring cars this year, so all in all, a great weekend. Tell us about your fight through the field. Yeah, it was, you know, just made a cracking start, managed to nip past Jason, coming out the hairpin, outbraked Adam Jones all the way around the outside of the hairpin, and from then on I had my sights set on Mike Jordan. Matt had got away, and you know, like I said, you know, Team Halfords, you know, all these guys have done such an awesome job with the car this weekend, and I think that's shown dividends with the 2 of us on the podium, 1st and 2nd. Now, what about the battle with Matt? Tell us what was going on there. Did he let you through? all that's going through my head is, don't take him off, don't take him off.
The only resume was don't hit each other. So,
but you know, I mean, I was sitting obviously, you know, up behind him, and I just got a little bit of a better run through the chicane one lap, and in all fairness, I probably would have sat there for a few laps longer, but I just found myself kind of up the inside on the way into Carlow Corner, so yeah, I was on my way from there.
In all fairness, the first 2 races were flashes, and you know, not taking anything away from Darren, but if that suspension hadn't bent on the overtaking move, he could be looking at 3 victories today, you know, and you know, he's been threatening it all day long, hasn't he?
Well, he's got one, but unfortunately it was you that he took it from. I mean, that must have been a bit of disappointment, wasn't it?
Hey, it's a 1-2 for Team Halfords. We had a 1-2-3 here last year, and what better way to spend it? It means the beers are on him tonight anyway.
And that's going to be quite something, a Scotsman putting his hand in his pocket. Just let's have a bit of a chat about your race. I mean, what a brilliant start.
I got a pretty good start. I mean, this is just a small thank you to the lads who've, as I said before, they've just worked their socks off since Brands Hatch was such an awful weekend for us, and we fought back and come away with a 1-2. It's the first 1-2 ever for the new Honda Civic, so that's something pretty special as well.
How difficult was it for the guys to get your car back together after that huge accident at Brands? How much work have they had to put into this weekend?
They put about 2 months' work into 10 days. It's a new car. It's a brand new car. Some of the front end bit, the engine and that sort of stuff, we could salvage off the old one, but it's a new chassis, new everything. So it's yeah, I don't know how they've done it. When I walked in and saw they'd done it, I said, so Moses did part the Red Sea then. So but fantastic result.
Well, congratulations to the both of you. 1-2 for Team Halfords. Let's go over to Ted.
Yes, they look like a happy bunch, don't they? And Tim, are they actually did they admit there that Shedden actually got it? He outfoxed his team leader, straight and honest?
Well, I think he did. He had the faster car all weekend, and in fairness, there won't be a more popular winner this year in front of 25,000 sort of supporters. I think it'll be Gordon Shedden for Prime Minister tomorrow in Scotland.
It was a good move, wasn't it?
It was a good move. His teammate wasn't going to make it difficult for him, but Gordon had to pluck up the courage and carry the speed through the chicane to get past him. And yeah, I mean, once he was through, he controlled the race.
Yeah, no, not bad. Okay, well, what's your view on exactly why they've been so good here? I mean, was it just the way the grid goes at the end, and then they kind of lucked into it?
Well, it's been a good circuit for the hatchbacks this weekend, hasn't it? The Seats we expected to be very strong here, and Turner won 2 races. The first 2 races did very well indeed. Plato kept chipping away. It's been a good race meeting for him, but he'll be very concerned going to Thruxton with such a small championship lead. No controversial incidents, surprisingly, but they're obviously saving it all for the final.
Well, I certainly hope so, yes. It wasn't exactly a massively ding-dong last race, but it was good enough. Let's have a look at the championship standings, shall we? And it's now 9 points. 265 to Jason Plato, 256 to Fabrizio Giovanardi. So we started with 4 points, then it went to 9 points, and now it's back still at 9 points. And I believe we can join Louise Goodman, who is down the pits with both Giovanardi and Plato.
I am, and let's have a word with Jason Plato first of all. How important is that 3rd place finish for you?
Well, it's better than a 4th and not so good as a 2nd, but yeah, I mean, it's been quite a tough day for us. I mean, you know, we've had some pace, but we've struggled in certain areas of the track, and you know, really important for me to get ahead of Fabrizio in the third race and just try and get some points back, because Thruxton, anything can happen.
You seem to have a bit of a problem with power. You seem to really struggle coming up this hill on the front straight.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's nothing I can do about that. It's just, you know, your foot's to the floor and off you go. Our car is not the most aerodynamically efficient car down the straight. That said, we have good grip, so it's a trade-off. But yeah, today we needed certainly to be faster in the straight lines, and you know, I lost 4 places when we shouldn't have done. You know, so if you look back at that, okay, you know, we could have had a better weekend. That said, we've come out, we've had 3 more finishes, 3 good point scores, and we've got a 9-point lead going into the final race. And if I'm honest, that's what everybody wants. We all wanted to go down to showdown. It'll bring the best out in all of us, I'm sure.
Well, it's brilliant for us, the fact that it's so close, but surely it puts the pressure on you guys a bit more, doesn't it?
I think we like the bit of pressure. That's what we do for a living. You know, it's like I said, it'll bring the best out in everybody, and it'll make this championship all the more sweeter to win.
Well, let's have a quick word with Fabrizio. I mean, how was that one for you?
Sorry?
How was that race for you? Enjoyable?
Yeah, enjoyable because I was with some ballast, so I had a good start. I was back to Jordan, but no way to overtake him. He was very fast on the straight line, but for me it's okay to finish fifth, just 9 points behind him. I think for the people that watching could be very interested in the last race.
A lot of action going on at that hairpin. You had a few taps with a few people down there, didn't you?
Yeah, it's true. It's the only place where you can try to pass them, just to try to come inside, but no way. If your car is just a little bit slower than the other one, you cannot overtake him. But anyway, it's okay. It's finished. It's good. Mike
Jordan seemed to have a particularly wide car. I mean, try as you might, there was no way you could get past him.
No, he didn't make any mistake. Jordan is very fast driver. So in this circuit, you have not to take any risk to destroy your championship. So I was fifth, not far from Jason. So I say, okay, fifth place is okay for finish.
So what are your thoughts going into Thruxton?
I expect to have a good car in the fast circuit, but you never know. Everything could happen, and bad luck for me, bad luck for anyone. I hope just to fight with Jason without any trouble together.
And do you think that's what it's going to come down to, luck?
Sorry, luck?
Do you think? You said either of you could have good luck or bad luck. Is it going to come down to luck?
No, I don't want to. I don't want to think about bad luck. I think we are strong together. We are in the full power. We don't do many mistakes, so I think we play for the championship in the last race.
Now, we've got a few weeks to go until we get to that final race. What are you going to be doing in those weeks?
We're thinking about the car, and in 1.5 months is a long time. I think I just don't go lower with the pressure. I just want to keep concentration for the last race.
Well, we look forward to seeing both of you there. Thanks for talking to us now. Now let's go back to Ted.